Hello, and welcome back to Laura's Life in Dots. So, at first, I want to apologize because it has been a couple of weeks since I have been able to upload anything. I'm in a very intense project phase, build phase for work, and I've had to put the majority of my time into that project, and it is going to be continuing for at least another 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm doing my best to try to create videos when I can, edit and upload when I can, but it's all going to depend on how things go with work. So it's been a couple of weeks, and you may be noticing you recognize at least one of the notebooks sitting in front of me, but there are now 3 notebooks, and we're going to talk about these 3 notebooks and what's changed and what's happening. So with that said, I want to go ahead and put these 2 notebooks here, and we're going to come back to this one. It's a little something special, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the 2 notebooks that I am using on a daily basis. One of the things with my work is that I do have to sign client confidentiality agreements, and because of that, having my work in this planner that I'm sharing on the YouTube community is not something I can continue to do. So I did need to be able to separate out my work planning system from my personal planning system so that I could continue to freely and openly share this notebook and all its pages with you and be able to update you on things or how things are going with my work planner, but not reveal confidential material. So I did have to set up a new system that allows me to separate those 2 out. So we're going to first look at the new work system because this is a new lovely little item that I am absolutely in love with. As much as I fell in love with this and intend to use this for quite a while, my documented journey folio or cover. This is a folio cover that I picked up from a shop on Etsy known as Leather Doodles, and I have to say, I am in love. This leather is a Horween leather. It is hand stitched and handmade by Buffy and her husband at Leather Doodles, and I have to say, it's absolutely amazing. When I pulled this out of the package, I was instantly in love. It's a much thinner leather than what I'm normally used to, but it's because of the type of leather. I have 2 other notebooks that are coming that I am going to share with you when they come in that are a thicker leather. But this reminds me of kind of like the Carol leather from Chic Sparrow in that it is very light, it is very flexible and floppy and wonderful, which I don't mind because this setup sits on my desk. It's not something that I carry around with me, that I'm writing on my lap or anything like that. It sits on a desk with me at all times. And so one of the things I wanted to show you is A, I love the color, but B, watch this. Look at that amazing pull-up that happens when you manipulate the leather. And it shows such character, and it shows its story starts to map out on the leather itself. And for me, that is absolutely amazing. And I've fallen in love with it. And yes, a little matchy-matchy. The blues of this match in the blues of this beautiful spine. And so I love seeing them together. Inside of it, what I did was I was able to talk with a friend who had started using the Wonderland 222 planner and notebook system, and she just didn't like this size. She doesn't like the A5. She is in love with the Wonderland 222 paper because it is Tomoe River paper. But she didn't like the big size. And so I told her I'd pick them up from her. I offered to pay. She's like, absolutely not. You're going to have to, ignore some of the pages I used, which I just took them out. And so I am playing with this and have to say I am very much a fan of these notebooks, and the A5 size works perfectly for me when it comes to work planning. I do have the notebook, which is 365 days of kind of a blank grid paper that I use for my project notes and mapping and all the things that I do when I'm working on a project, you know, mapping out storyboards and rough drafting things in paper, which I always do before I ever start to build digitally and code what I need to code. So this is my project planning side and my meeting notes, project planning, things like that. And then I actually have the planner, the physical planner set up. And I will tell you, this notebook is absolutely, or this planner is absolutely amazing. It has the, you know, 4-year calendar. It has the yearly plan pages. It has quarterly pages, which allow you to go in, and for someone like me who is project oriented, I can track what projects I hit in each quarter. And this is something I will go back in and fill in before I archive, because I'm starting it on quarter 3 and she didn't use these pages, so I can. So second quarter is here, and then third quarter I'm going to skip over because there's stuff in there, and then fourth quarter, as I move into fourth quarter, I can use this to tentatively map out the timelines as well as document exactly what was accomplished during each phase of that quarter. The other element that I absolutely love, which I'm going to show you an unused one by her and myself, is that each month has its own tracker or project timeline tracker. And I can go in and use my color coding system to map out where I'm at in each phase of my project build and be able to put this here. The beauty is I didn't have to draw any of this out. It was all here. And what a time saver that was for work. It is wonderful to be able to just flip to a page and be able to use what I need and to move forward knowing that each month is here. I don't have to draw anything out. I don't have to kind of put it someplace else just so that I can draw it in when I need to. When I know, I can put it down. And my favorite little thing is to put stuff in with friction pen, so that I can erase it if things change, or, you know, keep it, you know, go back in and fill it in with permanent inks when the timeline or when that project is complete. So that is a big help. It's a big save for me. Another aspect that I really, really loved was the fact that the monthly calendars are already built in and the weekly calendars are built in. And I'm going to get to a month that's not filled in. So it's a month on 2 pages, and it's followed directly by the weekly that has the calendar time bars for each day already built in, and a little area where I can mark my project to-dos for that day. It gives me just enough space for work to do what I need to do, because in my other notebook, I can expand on that and then just track page-wise what I need to reference in the notebook. I can reference here underneath as well. And so this system is working really well for me. I've been using it for a couple of weeks, and it is really, really working well, and it keeps work in a confidential environment that I can sort of share with you, but not disclose any information that I should not. So that is update number 1, is that work has been separated out from my, I guess what I like to call my Omni planner, my bullet journal / planner. So when we started August, I set this up, and I had 2 notebooks in this one cover. And since then, I've consolidated it down just to the B6ology notebook that I had. And what I've done is, because I no longer have work in here, this truly is just a personal planner and a personal journal now. And I've combined the 2 into one. And so August is set up. We've gone through that. And I'm using it. It is absolutely working well for me. I'm able to have my daily kind of to-do lists and notes, as well as my artwork and everything together, which is a benefit for me. But once I fully embraced the work planner, I was able to realize that I didn't need to have a separate journal, that I was able to both daily plan and daily journal in the same notebook. And I am loving it. Because I no longer need the time bars to track my work time, I am able to kind of use the space for to-do lists, for artwork, for memory keeping, for anything that I want, and then take as many pages as I need to journal on any given day. And then that moving forward is something that I was able to look at. Towards the mid last week, I thought, I don't need this time bar. I really just need my to-do list and I need my journaling pages. So as I moved in yesterday, I had Friday there. I set up everything I needed to do for Friday and thought, well, I have half a page. I didn't really have any anecdotal notes or happy mail items or anything I needed to put in. So I'm going to grab Saturday and Sunday and put them on this page. And then I'll just journal for the rest of the week on the pages behind it, which is working out beautifully. I like the kind of eclectic aesthetics of it, and it's making me happy. So moving into next week, I followed that same pattern, used some of the setups that I like, but adapted them. So this is the week that we're moving into. I did keep a vertical type of spread, but instead of a time bar, I'm using this to plan tasks or appointments or things that I have on a personal level that I can just kind of put into this space. And then as I move to each day, can bring them over and make sure that I get them done and take any notes that I need. And if I take up a half a page, I take up a half a page and Tuesday comes underneath. Or if I take the whole page and put artwork down here, that works as well. And then the subsequent days afterwards are pretty much blank, other than like I threw this in, just some artwork and collaging. And I can do that for the remainder of the book, be able to have the weekly setup that I like with kind of a calendar type vertical layout. Then have my weekly tasks in the Alistair method, my focus and goals, as well as a next week kind of dump area, note-taking area, and then I can go right into my dailies. One of the things that I also took out of this was my IBS tracker, because I find that I am using the IBS app, the FODMAP app that I have on my phone, far more than I'm using it in here. Because, you know, it's quick. It's a couple of taps and it's in, and I can access it at any time on my phone. Whereas here, you know, yes, I can write it down and that's great, but I don't think I need to here. I'm able to do everything I want in here, and it takes out one of those elements of redundancy. So that's how I'm moving forward in my so-called Omni journal. And how I'm going to be planning for the foreseeable future. Looking at this in my page usage, I really believe I'm going to get October or through October possibly in here. Definitely August, definitely September, and maybe October. I don't know. We'll have to see. But for the next 2 months, we're going to try this experiment, see how it works. We'll watch to see how I adapt it or change it as things move ahead. But this is it. This is going to be my personal / bullet journal, and it's working. It makes me happy. I tend to grab it more now that I don't have to deal with different books. And the beauty is I have everything I want to journal or to plan with in this one system, and it fits beautifully into my little crossbody bag. So that works really well. So that is the system moving forward for August. I will keep you guys updated on how that goes. I know I've had a couple requests to do plan with me videos, and I'll be honest, I've tried twice And both times they were just such a hot mess, and the editing of them was so laborious that at this point in time, because of what's happening with work, I don't have the time to do it. And so I'm going to try again next week. And if it works, I will put it up. And if it doesn't, I can't, I just can't put that time in right now. But I am getting towards the end of the busiest season for me. And so maybe I will be able to get better at this process and be able to do it sooner rather than later. I will have an unboxing of the other leather doodles that are coming in. I have to tell you, Buffy's customer service is absolutely amazing, and the product is something that I willingly promote to you to take a look at. I don't do that lightly. I really won't promote something that I don't like. So there you go. There's where we're at with my personal and work journals. The last little thing that was in the stack that I'm going to show you is actually something that never in a million years did I think I would have. But my boys are avid D&D players, and they've been trying for quite a while to get me to play Dungeons and Dragons with them, and I finally gave in because they created the perfect lure. This is the shiny. They created a character for me that is a writer, an anthropologist, a study of culture, who carries around a leather notebook with her all the time, who whose magical object is a fountain pen. And yeah, so I agreed, I started this thing, and of course, because I'm a notebook, paper, stationery addict, I had to create a notebook, a character notebook. And like all of us, I got on YouTube and watched 1,001 videos about how to create a character notebook, and I looked at the options out there and found a beautiful system by Rook and Raven that is a character notebook that is in Discbound. And that's when I had my aha moment, because I have a large and a junior size Discbound system already. I own them both. I have everything I need for them. And I thought I can create that. So I did. I pulled out the supplies that I had in my closet, in my stash, and I created a character journal using elements that I found on Pinterest and free PDFs on the Dungeons and Dragons website to build a character journal to play this game with my boys. And I have to tell you, I am loving every minute of it. And part of it is this shiny little lure that they gave me in being able to create a whole notebook system to track who my character is, the type of points and things that you use for the game, the background history, chronologically her history as well as her abilities, to be able to do research and take background notes, as well as to be able to take session notes when we go on the different, when we have our different sessions and we're on our campaign, and to be able to do all these amazing things with my character and keep them in a notebook. And so, you know, it's created something for me that is truly enjoyable. It's a moment of escape in a world that seems to be falling apart right now and so uncertain of what's happening. And so it has been an absolutely amazing experience. And as I get better at the game and get better with this, I intend to create a playlist that is solely centered around using this type of system for character development, for role-playing games and things like that. And from here on out, I'll keep them separate, but if it's something you're interested in, it's something that I am going to be willing to share. So that is my little D&D notebook, my character notebook, that I'll be using in the future. And I hope that maybe some of you can share with me things you've done for similar type situations. So all in all, 20 minutes later, that's what's happening in my life and in my planner journey. And I want to thank you guys all for being here and for listening. I appreciate your patience in allowing me to kind of have a sporadic upload history over the next few weeks. And I promise you that I will try to bring you into my home and talk to you as often as possible. But for now, I want to say happy planning, enjoy your notebooks, and I will see you next time.